Hi guys, Pixels or Isaac here. Today I'm bringing you my longly awaited spinning tutorial for controller on DVD. Before this tutorial begins, I just want to announce that I'm actually doing a 1K community juke montage where any of you guys can submit clips. There'll be a Google form in the description that is really easy to fill out and submit clips, so I'd really appreciate it if you guys could just go down below and submit any clips that you may have, or even spins that you learn how to do from this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and as always, I'll see you later, guys. Okay, hello students, how are we doing today? Okay, I'm sorry, please don't unsubscribe. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to 360 on controller, also known as spinning on controller. I'll get into sensitivity settings and stuff like that in a minute, but I'm just going to start off with the very basics. If you're an experienced player and you're here for flick spins, all of the timestamps and shit will be in the description. So if you're a beginner and you've never tried spinning on this game before on controller, you literally just want to start by doing this. Rotating your character in a 360 degrees form like this, moving your character anti-clockwise. So you just want to keep doing this until you can perfectly do this without messing up. See, if I do it too quick, see? If you try to do it too fast, your character's gonna fuck up. And you can try practice doing it the other way as well, but steady yourself, you know, do one thing at a time. So once you've got the hang of that and you can do it every time without fucking up, you want to try and incorporate your camera movements. So you see how I'm slowly moving my camera to the right? So this is where sensitivity comes in. And honestly, I would recommend 100 sensitivity for anyone. But I do understand that there's people out there who struggle with a high sense. So to be honest with you, I would recommend maybe like 70. Because it's like a nice gateway into 100 sensitivity. That again, I recommend fully. So see how I'm incorporating my camera movements right here? So you start by doing this, and then you move your camera along with your character. You can also do this the other way, like this. Going clockwise this time. Okay, those are the very basics of spinning, alright? That's literally all I've got to say about that. So back on 100 sensitivity, if you're interested, they look like this on 100 cents if you're just doing a smooth spin, is what we call them. Okay, on to the flick spins and how I do them, the interesting part of the video. Yeah, I know, all of you have a fucking boner for this shit. So flick spinning is more of like a juker thing. I think there is a reason outside of coolness that they exist, you know, like they're less predictable. I just think they're genuinely like amazing compared to smooth spins. But I guess it is preference. Yeah, flicking is basically just this movement, okay? You see how I'm just flicking and I'm moving forward. This is probably the easiest way to learn the timing because it gets you in the habit. And then gradually you can just keep doing it faster and faster. Flick, 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 flick. See, you can just keep doing it faster and faster, you know? And I know it probably looks like I'm jacking off my controller, giving it a right fucking good time, but no, I know I'm jolting my controller around and stuff, but it's pretty normal, I think, anyway. Well, I like to believe it is. So, mid-spin, your character will start going forward briefly, and that's when you flick, you know? Flicking is basically just this, but really fast, so you're just going in a continuous 360, or circle, rather than, you know, doing this. Just flicking really fast, you know? And you might notice actually, when I'm flicking, I'm actually taking my thumb off of my analog stick, on the right analog stick here. And I did that for the longest time, you know? I spun like that for probably around a year and a half, but I realized if you do it too fast, if you try to do it too fast, you know, you mess up. Like, because your analog sticks need to be moving at the same pace to keep a spin going, you know? Otherwise you're just gonna fuck up. Similar to an Aaron tech in my last tutorial, if you're inconsistent at any point, you're gonna mess up, right? That's because I'm trying to move my left analog stick as fast as I am with my right analog stick. And because I'm taking my thumb off my analog stick briefly, I can't keep the same pace. So what I did to counter this is, as you can see when I'm flicking now, my right thumb is still on the analog stick even though I'm flicking. You know? Like, I'm still flicking, but I can keep the same pace as I do with my left analog stick, which allows me to flick a lot faster if I were to just do this. So yeah, that might be something to keep in mind. Yeah, just remember the timing. Right as my character is here, and you start flicking. Right as you start moving forward, basically, but in a spin. I know it's really hard to explain, but I'm sure with visual cues and just looking at my hand cam, and my character, you can put 2 and 2 together. And yeah, so same goes for the other direction, by the way. I forgot to mention. This is flicking, you know, like actually flicking. This is keeping my thumb on my analog stick. I can do it a bit faster. So yeah, well, which one you choose to do is completely up to you. Just do whatever you find comfortable. Something that's probably just as important as flick spinning is transitioning into the flick spin in a real situation against a killer. The best way to explain this really is when I start running, you might have noticed that for about half a second my character is still walking because my Dwight here is transitioning into the run, you know? It takes him like half a second. So you can imagine if you just start spinning like on the spot, you know, you lose momentum. You know, you don't have that like momentum to start off with. So what I tend to do, and a lot of other people do as well, is you fake going one way and then you start flicking, because that gives your character the opportunity to start building momentum before you've even started spinning. Now I do see people do this, and you might have been able to notice for a second there that I did lose a bit of momentum, and it's just really unnecessary to fake spins like this. I mean, it does work, but just keep that in mind. Also guys, I think it's helpful to mention that when it comes to spinning, you can always delay your first flick. Like this. Because depending on the killer, they're not always going to have the same movement, and depending on your surroundings and the situation you're in, you might have to make adjustments. And the final topic I want to mention is V-flicking, which looks like this. But you kind of do an Aaron tech. But on the final part of the Aaron tech where you turn left or right, you want to go forward as you do the last part of the Aaron tech, and that's a V-flick basically. There you go, that was a V-flick that kind of gives it its name. You see how my character did like a little V-shaped kind of sidestep? I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah. You can go both ways with this as well. Moonwalking into spinning is also fairly simple. As you can see, with forward moonwalking, you got to do like a little 180 turn into it because your character isn't facing in the right direction. Same goes to reverse Aaron teching as well. With backwards Aaron teching and moonwalking, it is a lot easier because you can just go kind of straight into the spin like that. But yeah, that's basically everything. Honestly, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll try to answer to as many as I can. Yeah, just remember the tips I taught you at the start, you know? Just do this motion with your character until you're comfortable, and then gradually up at the pace like this, faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Oh fuck, my fingers broke. Yeah, so yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video or you find it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Fucking bush. And yeah, I'll see you later, guys. I highly recommend. So no matter how new you are to spinning in this game, I would always think that 100 cents is the best to get, like. No. But if you're like brand new, I guess, like you could start with a. So no matter how like experienced you are with spinning and stuff, I guess you could try. I guess you could start on like. Fuck's sake, man. I'll get into sensitivity and stuff in a minute, but the very.